Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. I have decided to go ahead with the Storms Gather in Merseyside scenario as our next scenario. Severe weather has been predicted and many services are facing delays. Our shift is nearly over, but we need to drive a local service to Liverpool Lime Street, stopping at all stations, and that's probably how our shift is going to be ending today. This service starts at Warrington Central, which is why I've decided this is a good one to do as my next scenario. It is only about half the route. The next scenario, which is going to be the Express to Liverpool scenario up here, that is going to be a full route run. And when I do the full route run, I've decided that's probably the scenario I'm going to try to put the Armstrong Powerhouse train into. So I haven't decided if I'm going to now put that last in light of that, or if I'm going to go ahead and maintain running the waiting for freight scenario as my last scenario instead. If I decide to put the Armstrong Powerhouse in on Express Liverpool, I'll probably run this one next time, which will be tomorrow. But all I know about today is I'm running the Storms Gather in Merseyside, and we'll see how the other two end up shaking out here. I do want to put the AP train on at least one of those two. I'm probably not going to put it on both because I don't want to replace all the trains in two scenarios. That's a lot of time spent just replacing trains when I could be editing other videos or something like that. So we're going to play this scenario as normal today. There's only 6 trains in this scenario besides mine. And it is a run from Warrington to Liverpool. Let's get started with it. Severe weather has been predicted and many services are facing delays. Hello. Your shift is nearly over. You need to drive a local service to Liverpool Lime Street, stopping at all stations. I should note I do not have the Armstrong Weather Enhancement Pack installed, so that is default sounds you're hearing in the game. I did not realize that there were cracks of thunder available as default sounds in this game. Now I know. Let's allow passengers to board here. They probably want to get out of the rain, don't they? Let's get those doors open quickly. And again, it's not going to be a stop that gives us any kind of points, so we're just going to go ahead and stop the train and get ready for our 10 stops along the way. So that is now reset. We're going to bring it to step 1, and off we go. So this is basically the same as another scenario that we already ran, but we're doing it in reverse and in the rain. So it's going to be a fun little drive in wet conditions. Leaving Warrington Central, our first stop is Sankey for Penketh. We will make sure the wipers are on today because we're going to need them. Currently leaving at a speed limit of 40 miles per hour. That thunder is going to crackle a lot today from the sounds of it. I'm holding my speed somewhat right now around a certain point because I don't want to speed up too much here. Otherwise I will go over the speed limit. I'm happy with that for right now. Let's keep it right here if I can. So we have to be at Sankey for Penketh by 15:14. We only have 3 minutes to get there. So as soon as we cross into the 50, I'm going to go ahead and increase the speed a little more. We do have an 85 coming up in this range as well. So now up to 50 we go, if the throttle kicks in. Thank you very much. Gonna power it down a little bit for a moment. Or not, apparently. There we go, that'll work. You can see our station is coming up ahead, so we are in range of the station now. I will take temporary advantage of this 85. Don't do that. Don't do that right now. Please don't do that. Oh, now I want to speed up, doesn't want anymore. There we go. We're getting there. We're probably passing the area around where West Warrington is right now. Surely it's on the service today, but it's not in this route, as I discussed in a previous scenario. So we're not going to see West Warrington. Alright, let's see how this thing does in range, shall we? I've idled the throttle. We're now 3/4 of a mile away from the entrance to the station. Okay, let's put a minimal brake application on and see how this thing runs in slowing down. We got less than a minute to make our stop now. I've eased off the brakes for a moment because that makes sense. We're coming in too slowly now, so I need to plan my step 1 brake a little closer to the station or at a little faster speed. So we're now entering Sankey for Penketh station. Going to a step 2 brake application to bring the train slow down a little faster. Now a full brake service because I forgot how short this platform was. Easing it off. And doors are open at Sankey for Penketh, platform number 1. Leaving Sankey for Penketh. Our next stop is Widnes. Our due time at Widnes is in a little less than 4 minutes. We have less than 4 miles to go to get there. Close to about 3.5 miles, in fact. We also have an 85-mile-per-hour speed limit to work with, so that may help us a little bit if we can get up there quickly enough. Now you might notice I've been careful not to talk about things happening on my channel before or after this set of videos. Part of the reason for that is because I've been playing around, planning to put some sim rail content out, which I'm sure is out by now. I've actually been recording it while I've been recording these scenarios. So I hope you're enjoying the sim rail. I'm going to be going back and forth to it like any other route. So I'm going to be treating it as a set of as a route or a pair of routes that I can go to just like any other route you'd see in Europe, UK, and such in this game. And you're going to see more of that content over time. But I also don't know what specific content I'm going to have around this, even in Train Sim Classic or possibly even Train Sim World, before or after this. So I'm trying to be very, very careful not to suggest that there's going to be things around this point or things that may already be published that I don't know yet are published. So I'm being very careful with what I say right now. I can tell you the only thing that I'm going to confirm is that I am looking at doing additional DLC on this route, especially the 142 and the 101. But at some point I do need to introduce the Peak, and the Peak services, the 45, are on this route. That is an older train that also, I might be mistaken, but I thought that came out in the IHH days as well. Maybe not though, it might be similar to an IHH model, but it is its own DLC set of scenarios now. The IHH scenarios, if there is an IHH pack around this, would be older DLC that is not available at this time. We usually utilize the East Coast Main Line or something like that. If I have scenarios for the Peak that use those older routes, I will look into getting those on here as well, because I have other scenarios like that for other trains as well. The 101, I especially want to get those scenarios out if I haven't already, in the East Coast Main Line and Great Western Main Line. There's one of our many trains going by. That is probably the Class 158732. So I've gone ahead and put a Step 1 brake application on right now. I'm a little worried about wheel slip, so I'm not screeching those brakes onto a Step 2 quite yet. Looks like I'm going to have to give it a risk here. Yeah, I'm going to give it a little risk of a Step 2 right now. That did exactly what I hoped it would. Nope, give me a little more. So I'm going to put a prolonged step 2 in there. That'll work for now. And I'm going to need a heavy one again. So there we go. Step 2 brakes. Go to full service. I moved up to step 1 once again so we can bring it to a stop. I should be considered on time for this. So I've arrived at Widnes, platform 1. Passengers are getting out of the rain. Leaving Widnes, our next stop is Hough Green. Stopping today at platform number 1 at Hough Green. We are 1 3/4 miles away as we leave the station, so we should be arriving, I would say, in the next 3 minutes, which is what we're scheduled to do. Alright, we're starting to close in on our stop. We're within a mile. I'm going to try and push it up to 60 and then we'll put a brake on. We reach 60, we're going to put a brake on. We're going to pause the braking at 45 for a moment. That's a good coast speed for the time being. We do have a full minute to make our stop, so we don't need to necessarily rush in either. We probably could hit the brakes a little early if we wanted to. Let's not push it. So I eased off the brakes again for a moment because I need to get a little closer to the station before putting the bigger brakes on. Stumbling over my words today. And now I need the step 2 brake, which I'll do now. Easing off the step 2 brake for a moment. Back to it. I think this is good for the passengers who want to get out of the rain. Doors are open at Hough Green, platform number 1. Leaving Hough Green, our next stop will be Halewood. Halewood is a little less than 2.5 miles away from us, so we have about 3 minutes to get there. Same amount of time we had to get to our current stop. That seems a little unfair, but that's what we have to work with, so we're going to try to do it. I did say after all we had a lot of extra time on the last stop, so this is probably going to be a normal stopping pattern. 3 minutes for 2.5 miles. So we're reaching 50 miles per hour at this time as we continue our drive to Halewood. Just to review again the rest of the itinerary, we're not even at the halfway point yet. After Halewood, we have to make a stop at Hunt's Cross, which is, as you see, about another mile up the road. And then the stops are a lot closer from that point. Liverpool South Parkway is 4 miles away. Then West Allerton is 5 miles away. Mossley, Edge Hill, which is the longest gap remaining. And then Liverpool Lime Street. So we're within 10 miles now of Liverpool Lime Street. There's 7 stops to go in that 10 miles. So lots of opportunity to make our stops on time here. Oh, I read that speed wrong. That was an 8, not a 7. So I'm just going to go ahead and coast for a moment. I was about to hit the brakes just a little early there, I think. So now I'm going to put the brakes on. That train going by is a freight service. That is most likely our single class 47279 empties. 47279 is the train. Empties is what it has. Going to hold at 50 for a moment. Or slightly less thereof. Okay, now I'll put the brakes on. We're getting a warning for a speed drop or a signal. We just got a warning for a green signal, ladies and gentlemen. So I think that's a buggy AWS ramp because we're getting warned for a signal that doesn't exist. Or for a speed drop that doesn't exist. One or the other. So putting a Step 2 brake application on now, we're pulling up to the building on the HUD that represents where the station stop is located. May not be perfect to what we should be stopping at, but it works for me. If it works for me, it'll work for everyone else. There we go. Arrival at Halewood, platform number 2. Leaving Halewood, our next stop is Hunt's Cross. Hunt's Cross, as you see, is now about a mile away. Actually, a little less than that for the entrance to the platform. As such, we're not going to get up to a very fast speed here. You can also see that I'm a few seconds behind on that last stop as well. That is still considered on time, so we're not panicking too much in terms of our timings right now. Of course, if it was not possible to make those timings on time and this were a standard scenario, this scenario would be an immediate fail just based on that. So thankfully we don't have that issue. We are approaching Hunt's Cross now. I've gone ahead and dialed the throttle at 50. We have a warning. There is a flashing yellow. Maybe that's what the previous signal was supposed to be. Maybe the previous signal was meant to be a flashing double yellow. We didn't get a flashing double yellow. We got a green. So maybe that bug was with the signal itself, not with the fact that we got alerted to it. Eased off the brake for just a moment here. And we're going to go ahead and reapply that brake now. And actually, I was a little early doing that, so I'm going to take it off again. Alright, here we go. I want to be around 25 or just above that coming in the platform. That way a Step 2 brake is a perfect stop. That is the idea behind that. A shorter platform, I might need the full service brake. Arrival at Hunt's Cross, platform number 1. leaving Hunt's Cross. Yes, I know you're here. Thank you, Thunderstorm. Our next stop is Liverpool South Parkway. I got distracted by that crack of thunder there. That Hunt's Cross, just to remind you, is the start of the Metrolink. So if we pop on top of the... actually, I'm going to wait for the signal, and then we'll figure it out, because there's a 30 speed limit coming up I need to slow down for anyway. We should have lots of time, so we're okay. There's our warning. So a very quick look at the train on top. You're going to notice that we have a third line here. That's the Metrolink line. So the Metrolink does go off, and I'm going to zoom back in for the window. The Metrolink does go off of that line. Let's take the brakes off, because I don't mean to slow down that much yet. I think there's a train up there, or is that a tunnel of some sort? No, it's a train. 158769, and more crackling thunder. That is at the platform, as you noticed, or at the holding point anyway, whatever that is. We're now under the 30, and we are running at 30. We have a 20 coming up. So the Metrolink, which that might be the track that was to the left of us going off right now. I think it goes to Chessington or something like that. So the Metrolink is going to leave us. We're going to be rejoining the West Coast Main Line. Or no, the West Coast Main Line was further back. No, what is it we are joining? No, there is a link to Liverpool. I think it is the West Coast Main Line. I'm not sure anymore. No, it is the West Coast Main Line, because it goes through Runcorn, and I actually know of the the North Lincolnshire route. I don't know if it runs through Runcorn, but I know I've seen it going to Doncaster. No, that's a different route. Sorry, I'm thinking something else. But in any case, I know the West Coast Main Line does connect to this route, so we'll just go with that for now. It does go to London Euston. So here is the line joining us right now. The other line is still over there as the Metrolink. And we're going to go ahead and put our step 1 brake on now. And a step 2 brake for a moment. Okay, staying on step 1. We have lots of time to make this stop, so I'm going to see if I can get a picture over at the Metrolink area while we're stopped. Arrival at Liverpool South Parkway, platform number 2. Leaving Liverpool South Parkway, our next stop, about a mile away, is West Allerton. So I tried to show in the screenshots that we did indeed rejoin the West Coast Main Line. In the last screenshot I showed you the Metrolink line that goes, I believe, to Chessington, if I remember correctly, and I don't have my notes with me, so I'm just going by memory. The Metrolink line did go kind of like direct east-west, like a straight line across the back of the screenshot. That's where the line was if you go back and look at that last screenshot I gave you. So I tried to line it up so it was easy to see. But Liverpool South Parkway is home to some very nice screenshots. Very nice shaped building there for for our purposes. Time to start slowing down already. We're only a mile away after all when we started this part of the journey. So step 1, brake application. Gonna kind of hold the brakes here for a moment. Just release them is a better way to put it. Now put a step 1 brake application back on so we can work on our stop. Gonna get down exactly where I need to. We can put a step 2 brake application in as we enter the platform. There it is, step 2 brake application. That's a very short platform. I'm gonna go straight to full service, because this platform pretty much requires it. I'm about to overshoot. I think I'm still within it. We're good. We're still within. So arrival at West Allerton, platform number 2. Passengers are departing. Deboarding. Leaving West Allerton. Our next stop is Mossley Hill. We have 3 stops remaining on our journey at Mossley Hill, Edge Hill, and of course Liverpool Lime Street. We are now in an 80-mile-per-hour section. Not that it matters, because we are within a mile of our station. Actually, 3/4 of a mile of our station. We have to make our stop in 1 minute, which is extraordinarily tight timing. Seems hardly fair. I guess with these few seconds leeway you get afterwards, it is doable. Because we are well within half a mile a minute territory at this point, more than that. So I'm already starting to brake. We're even up at 50. We don't have time to get to 50 in this stretch. So we're not going to brake fully yet, but I want to make sure I have control over when I drop my speed. This is a good time to do so. Platform starting on the other side already. We're not quite at it on our side yet. And putting the step 2 brake on for a moment because I need it on. Full service. Full service. And ease it off to step 2. Back to step 1. Lateness potential here, but we have arrived at Mossley Hill, platform number 2. Leaving Mossley Hill, we were on time. Our next stop is Edge Hill, stopping today at platform 2. This is the longest stretch of the last few stations. And the one to Liverpool Lime Street is not much longer, to be honest with you. Woo! So we did just go through the really dark part of the storm. It looks like we're getting a little bit lighter here again. We are in an 80-mile-per-hour speed limit, so we have a little ways to go to get to our speed. I think this is plenty of time for the Edge Hill stop. 15:47 is our scheduled stop. And if we look ahead at our itinerary, you can see that after the 15:47 stop at Edge Hill in 2 miles, we have to do a pickup at Liverpool Lime Street 6 minutes after that. So the distance is about another mile and change. Definitely doable even at slower speeds. So I think we're going to be able to pull off the rest of this scenario without any issues whatsoever. Assuming that we're not surprised by a speed limit change somewhere, that is. Like that 30, for example, which is going to eventually drop to a 25. Whoa! Wasn't ready for that right away. That's a warning of the speed drop. And now we're getting in the dark part of the storm again. Beautiful. I'm kind of just coasting along in the 40s right now. Supposedly I'm getting later and later at this point, which is not a good sign, but it's still within acceptable time limits here. I'm gaining a little bit of time now, so I guess the game expects me to slow down at this stage, which I'm going to start doing. I've arrived at my 30-mile-per-hour speed limit. We are going to continue. Knowing that we're in a slight downhill section, I might have to shave off a wee bit more speed here if I start picking up more speed. It is a very, very light, now it's flat ground. But now we're going to hit the downhill for sure at this point. 1 in 310, 215. Yeah, we're going to gain speed here. This is a 1 in 96, 93. Yeah, 1 in 93 is our gradient. You can see that I am indeed gaining speed in this section, so I am going to have to manage the brakes a little bit. And keep the speed coming back down to 29. Eventually we're going to have to drop to 25, not just 29. So this is probably the most challenging part of this drive, getting the speed to stay at a lower level here. In fact, now that we've come off that 1 in 93, looks like we're back on flat ground, so I'm going to be able to just drop the speed to 25 and go with it. That is excellent for my purpose. 0.3 of a mile away from the speed limit sign. Sorry, 0.2 of a mile that was. So I actually need to brake a little sooner. Do it right now just to make sure we meet it in time. There we go. I don't mind having that off about 1/10 of a second early there. 1/10 of a mile early. Don't mind that at all. We do have a whole minute to make our stop. No surprise junction speed, thankfully, so we're good to proceed. There is a 15 up ahead that we will have to deal with as we approach Liverpool Lime Street. Not looking forward to that. This is a longer platform, so I'm not hitting the brakes right away. But we are going to put a step 1 brake application on now. And let's put the step 2 on at this time. I'm going to proceed to the end of the platform. As much as the passengers are not going to like me for it, that is what I've decided to do. I'm not going to make it before the brakes are fully on, so they're going to like me a little better now. Arrival at Edge Hill, platform number 2. Leaving Edge Hill. Our next and final stop will be Liverpool Lime Street, platform number 5. We have 5 minutes to make this stop. We are about 1¼ miles now from Liverpool Lime Street. We're on a 1 in 136 downhill gradient, which is causing us to gain speed with no throttle applied, so I'm going to have to go ahead and put a step 1 brake on periodically to keep our speed down. I see a yellow signal up ahead I'm going to need to respond to. You can see the buffer at the end of the track up ahead. That is a buffer stop at the end of the platform. That is not a route end. Even though it technically is a route end anyway, because we're not going beyond Liverpool Lime Street. There is nothing beyond Liverpool Lime Street on this track. It looks like we are going to be very early here, so I don't have a problem bringing the speed down a little early if I need to. We're going to be at least a minute early at this point. Our stop is on platform 5, which is the same platform we've used for everything else so far at Liverpool. Maybe our services exclusively use line 5 or platform 5. I don't know. Another yellow signal coming up. We were not given a warning to this one, I don't think. Did I miss it? I don't think we got a warning to this. Let's get ourselves down to 15. It is a 1 in 92 gradient, so it is affecting our slowing down. I'm going to put a step 2 brake on to make sure we get down in time. Off to step 1. And we are now down to 15. So we're going to see what the brakes decide to do to us at this point. The downhill gradient is going to, I should say what the gradient's going to do to us. The gradient is being nice to us right now. It's smoothed itself out. Looks like we have flat ground in Liverpool Lime Street. So we should be good the rest of the way here in this dark entryway. You can see that we're not really getting any rain anymore, so might as well turn the wipers off. Oh no, what? We're getting the rain again. Okay, we're good. We are getting rain. In the tunnel we weren't, but now we are. I keep looking ahead thinking there's some kind of obstruction ahead. I think it's just the rain causing some hilarity with my vision here. There is building in there, obviously. There are some structures there. We have 2 minutes to make our stop. A little more than that, actually, but we are arriving already at Liverpool Lime Street. So I've dropped the throttle another mile here, or the speed rather. I might actually take it down to about 11 or 12 just to make sure we don't trip an emergency brake somewhere. There's something shining into our cab right now. We're being greeted by the sun. It has passed now. The platform has opened up. There is a train coming in. Oh, leaving. There's a train leaving over there. We still have the sun coming in. It's a little disorienting. Wipers are off now. I don't think it's raining inside of here. I'm proceeding to the back here. You can see that we do have a buffer stop back here, which is what I'm aiming for. I'm not going to try to go all the way back because I don't know if the game's going to try to trigger me as possibly passing that double red. But I'm going to bring the buffer in just a little bit here, and that will be perfect for my purpose. So doors are open at Liverpool Lime Street, platform 5. Let's look at our train. And a very quiet Liverpool Lime Street today. I know these about 8 or 9 platforms here all get constant use. There is stuff in the holding sidings in the middle, like the one you see in front of us here. But pretty quiet here today. Maybe a couple services got canceled because of the weather. I don't know. But I do see a couple trains here, and that's all I'm really worried about. I know I saw one more at another platform as we came in to the other side of us as well. So there we go. 4 stereos done. We got 2 more to go. The express service to Liverpool from Manchester should be obviously about twice as long of a drive, but not as much in terms of stoppage. And then we're going to have our waiting for a freight service on another trip here to Liverpool. So all the remaining trips are to Liverpool, from what I understand. All with different starting locations. We took the shortest one today. We're going to take a longer one next time. Don't know if it'll be the longest one. And I did say, and I do intend to put the Armstrong Powerhouse model as the driver train in at least one scenario. We'll see about others, but at least one. Well done. Despite the vile weather, you have arrived at Liverpool Lime Street with little disruption. What more can we say? Off to the scoring screen. And we do get our achievement for Liverpool-Manchester underneath the sky. That is our 700-point achievement, as you see by the 700 on the sticker there. So, or on the icon. So that's another achievement completed for this pack. I'm not sure offhand how many miles I am into my 158 miles achievement. I'll take a quick look at my achievements menu and confirm this for you. If I bring up my achievements menu very quickly, and I'm going to try and do this very, very quickly because it's actually causing a bit of a delay on the text that you see there, I'm pretty sure. How do I spell Liverpool? There it is. So looking at my upcoming achievement for that, there's what I'm looking for. I do have, obviously, I'm getting close to the point, so I should complete the 4,200 points on the next scenario. I'm also at 102 miles out of my 158. So 102 miles of my 158. That means the next two drives I should come very close. I don't know if I will complete it, but I will come very, very close to completing that achievement. So I just have to get another 46 miles in there. If it is about a 30-some mile route, I could do this in two scenarios because I did have the replays on the first scenario that I was doing as well. I'm also going to see if I can run the tutorial off screen, which I keep saying I've said twice now I'm going to do, and I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to run the tutorial off screen. That'll give me another mile or two on the scoreboard as well. So that'll get me just a little bit closer as well. Hopefully we don't have an issue getting that achievement. If I find that I'm not going to get it, I might just rerun the last part of the last scenario until I do get it. That way you get to see it all at once. We'll see how I have to do that. But I am going to get that achievement. I am going to get this all done in the next two videos. And I hope to see you for them. So next time, I don't know if it'll be the express service or if it'll be the freight service that we have to wait for. But those will be the next two scenarios in some order. So come back next time for one of those. I will see you for that. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for your part of the world. And I'm Cyclone. See you for those. Bye-bye.